That's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Welcome to the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast, the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin. This week is episode 25, The Stooges, and we'll be covering May of 1998. I'm Mike Prue, along with JV. As always, JV, how are you doing?
Doing good, man. I'm pretty pumped for this episode because the Stooges were some of the most, they were the two very underrated characters that I don't think get enough love nowadays when looking back at the Attitude Era.
Hell yeah. Freaking, these guys are hilarious. Like, unintentionally hilarious, too. And
yeah, just naturally entertaining.
So, I'm excited to cover the Stooges this week, too. And some of the great things happened in early May. So, this week we'll just be covering the first few weeks of May of 98. So, we won't be getting to Over the Edge. We'll just be covering the build-up to that, leading up to the go-home show. So, we have a couple things to talk about before we get into all that, though. And we did just run a poll that I want to talk to you guys about. We had a poll on Twitter. And if you're not following us on Twitter, follow us on Twitter at BottomLineCast. The poll was a past match poll. So, the poll was for us to do a watch-along on a match that we've already covered on the show, but haven't done a watch-along for. So here were the options. You had Bret Hart versus Austin from Survivor Series 96. The Final Four match from In Your House in February of 97 with Vader, Undertaker, Bret Hart, and Stone Cold. You had the Canadian Stampede match from July of 97. The Hart Foundation versus Hodgepodge of guys with Austin. And then a similar match in February of 98, No Way Out, which we just covered not too long ago. Austin, Cactus Jack, Chainsaw Charlie, Owen Hart versus DX with Savio Vega. Savio Vega in place of Shawn Michaels. So the poll just ended moments before we started recording, and the results were as following, starting from the bottom. Canadian Stampede got 20%. Final Four got 23%. And then No Way Out got 27%. So that means our winner was very close. Hart versus Austin from Survivor Series 96, 30%. JV, what'd you think of that?
I was gonna probably go with the Bret Hart Survivor Series.
All right,
match.
so
I didn't. I obviously didn't vote. So
okay, so you didn't vote, so you didn't affect the poll this time.
No,
actually,
nope.
I did vote on it with my name, MPRU83 on Twitter. So at MPRU83, you can talk to me there. I voted for the Final Four, so I didn't influence the winner either. So the fans wanted Hart versus Austin, which we loved when we covered it. You know, that was early on. It's one of the first episodes. We loved that match, and so I'll be looking forward to watching that soon. We don't have a date for it yet when we'll release it, but it'll be our next one after the 316 watch-along. So 316 days coming up this Saturday. We have a watch-along for you that we'll talk about later at the end of the show, but that's coming up this Saturday. So our next one after that will be Hart versus Austin from Survivor Series 96. And last week we covered Unforgiven, April 98, so very good match between Dude Love and Stone Cold Steve Austin. And we're going to pick up this week from the following week. So we covered the Raw the night after Unforgiven. So we're going to move ahead now into May. So May 4th, 1998. And that's Raw 258 from Richmond, Virginia. And the show's going to start off with a Love Shack episode. So Love Shack has been pretty constant over the past month. Like 3 of the last 4 Raws had a Love Shack segment. So we're not going to play the clip. We're just going to talk about it because it's pretty lengthy. But if you want to go back and watch it on the network, it starts right at the beginning of the show, basically. So 3 minutes, 37 seconds, and it goes until about 14 minutes. So pretty lengthy, and that's why we're not playing an 11-minute clip for you. But it's really just Dude Love, so no, not much Austin in terms of speaking on the mic, so that's why we're not going to play it for you. But go back and watch it, definitely, because it is a pretty cool segment. So Mick Foley's going to come out. Okay, Mick Foley, not Dude Love. Mick Foley or Cactus Jack, it's kind of vague, because Cactus Jack is kind of like Mick Foley.
Yeah. He's the closest thing to Mick Foley.
Right, he's got the flannel.
Characters.
Yeah, usually the flannel, though, is like a tip-off that it's Mick. And not Cactus, because Cactus would usually wear the Wanted shirt.
Yep.
I was like, I don't know. Is it Mick? Is it Cactus? Whatever. So it's not Dude Love. So one of the first things he says is, I don't know who the hell I am anymore. It's like, that's perfect. Because I don't know who the hell you are either.
Yeah, it's like a great start. Great start, dude. Or Mick, or Mankind, or Cactus.
So he points out that at Unforgiven, he beat Stone Cold Steve Austin. And it's true, he did. But
He did, yeah.
because of disqualification, he beat him. But he's still hanging on to that. He's like, I beat Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know, I didn't realize it was going to be so easy to beat you. That kind of thing. But he's kind of pissed because last week he wasn't given a return title shot. McMahon gave it to Goldust. So that pissed him off a little bit. And on last week's Raw, prior to this, on our episode last week, we talked about how Dude Love ran in and attacked Goldust. So he's pretty pissed about that. And they announced that he's going to have a match with Terry Funk. When I say he, I mean Mick Foley, Dude Love, whoever the fuck. He's going to have a match with Terry Funk. It's going to be no holds barred. It's going to be falls count anywhere. And they kind of allude to the fact that this might be punishment. Like, this is further punishment to Mick Foley for not beating Stone Cold at Unforgiven for the title. That he only won by DQ. So he's being punished by being put in a Terry Funk match. No holds barred. Falls count anywhere. And you know, maybe Dude Love would just get his ass kicked so bad that he'll never be able to fight again. So he's pissed off about that too. So now he's like, I'm not going to suck up to Vince McMahon. You know, I'll be damned if I let my kids see me bounce around with a couple of second-rate strippers. And I don't think those girls were second-rate strippers that he's talking about.
Yeah. Not even close. They're first rate.
Especially the one that was on the right that we talked about last week. With that apple bottom.
For sure.
Man. All right. So, he says they're second-rate strippers, and I'll be damned if I ever wrestle in this gear again. He shows the Dude Love gear, and you know, he's just pissed off. So he's kind of given a similar promo to what he did with Cactus Jack a few weeks back, where he said, I guess Cactus Jack is all done. So he's kind of doing this with Dude Love now. No more Dude Love. Dude Love is all done. He's going to call Vince McMahon out, and he points out to McMahon, you know, I'm not going to wear this gear ever again. And then he throws it right in Vince McMahon's face.
Yep.
Which I was like, wow, that's fucking ballsy at the time for him to do that. And Vince McMahon responds with, you know, the way you think you would. Who the hell do you think you are? You didn't get the job done because Stone Cold is the champion.
And he's got a point.
Right. Very true.
Because they always kind of had this agreement, right? Like, the agreement was, like, I'm going to give him the chance of the title, but, you know, you got to get the job done.
Right, you got to get the belt off of Stone Cold. That's the whole point.
Like, that's the whole purpose, yeah. You won, but you didn't get the fucking belt, dude.
Yeah. So, McMahon now goes to talking about the Terry Funk match, where just moments ago, Dude Love is saying that, you know, this is bullshit, basically, that I have to fight Terry Funk. They just want to ruin me. You know, it's kind of like a punishment. And McMahon's going to twist it and say, you know, this is a reward. It's an opportunity. If you seize this moment and beat him from an inch of his life, then you've made the kind of sacrifice to become the number one contender. So this is kind of like hyping up Dude Love. So McMahon's just playing puppet master here with Dude Love.
Manipulating the hell out of him right now.
Yep. That you threw Dude Love in my face. How does it feel to have the truth thrown in yours? Then McMahon just smacks Foley in the face. And he's just smirking too.
I like how Michael Cole, he kind of addresses this as a pep talk. It's like, no, this is a 100%, flex of power
Right.
by Vince McMahon at this point. But, it's like, oh, Michael Cole, he's like, oh, he's really giving him a good pep talk. He says something like that. And it's like, dude, no, he's just straight up taking advantage of him.
Right. Right. From the vantage point of McMahon, that's what he's doing. But in Mick Foley's eyes, it might be like, yeah, this is a pep talk. He's helping me out. So, all depends on who's viewing it. And obviously, Michael Cole is on the side of Foley, and he's being tricked too.
Yep.
And I guess that makes sense because Michael Cole has been working there for over 20 years. So he's buying the Vince magic. So then we get Austin's music's going to hit right after that smack. So Austin backs McMahon down the ramp. Austin has a grappling hook. Like, what the hell is a grappling hook doing?
So I said, what the fuck? I didn't, you always hear of grappling hook. Batman has a grappling hook.
Right.
There are some grappling hooks you can use in the other video games. But I don't think I've ever actually seen. I think that might be the one and only time I've actually seen a grappling hook in real life.
Yes.
Like what?
Yeah. I guess you use it to tear shit down, apparently, because both instances of WWE or WWF having a grappling hook on TV has been to tear shit down. So Austin, in this case, he's going to use it. And he's going to tear down the Love Shack. He's going to tear down the bus. He's going to fuck up the whole set. Just recently, not that long ago, Braun Strowman comes out with a grappling hook and tears down a set and tosses it onto Kane. Kane and Brock Lesnar get thrown underneath something that Braun pulls down with a grappling hook.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's funny.
So anyway, Austin throws up that grappling hook, pulls the shit down, and that's the end of the segment, basically.
Yeah, hell has been risen.
Yeah.
Risen?
Risen, I guess. It's not time for English. All right, so, pretty lengthy segment, like I said, but it's very good. So go back and check out that on episode 258 of Raw from May 4th, 1998. It's right at the beginning, so check that out. And that's going to lead to a match later in the night. Not an Austin match, but that Mick Foley versus Terry Funk match is worthy to talk about and has implications with Austin. Austin is actually on commentary, so it gives us a reason to discuss it. And it's a very damn good match. And prior to the match, they start off with a video package of Mick Foley and Terry Funk having matches in Japan.
That's awesome.
I don't know what company they were with, maybe All Japan or even New Japan, but they got the footage, and it's just crazy. It's barbed wire, explosions. I couldn't believe it. I want to go back and try to find some of those matches.
Yeah, barbed wire ropes. They're doing backdrops on a live electrical wires or something. Every time they hit it, it's like this big spark. It's pretty badass.
Oh, yeah. Like I just said, I definitely want to go back and on the internet and try to find some of those matches.
Yeah, it's funny how Mick Foley basically finds out Terry Funk is wrestling over there, and apparently he calls them to get a job and go wrestle over there, which is something he had never done in his career. He mentions it during the video package, and yeah, it's definitely obviously we're going to recommend you watch this match, but you have to check out the video package beforehand too, because I think it's can't miss.
Yeah, definitely
can't miss entertainment. No. Even though it's not that long, it's just good shit. And I thought the same thing too, Prue. I wanted to find, hey, where can I find some of these matches? So I'm sure they're not on the network. I haven't looked yet, but
yeah, definitely not on the network.
Yeah,
but I haven't looked either. So if anybody knows, reach out to us on Bottom Line Cast at Twitter, whatever the fuck, and reach out to us. Tell us where those matches are. Mm-hmm. All right, so if you're going to watch this on the network, it's at the 1 hour, 12-minute mark of that episode of Raw. And you get the video package right before it, so check that out. Then the match, you have Stone Cold come out right before the match starts. He's going to be on commentary, as I said moments ago. And he's going to grab the vendor's beer. He's going to go up to the vendor in the stands and just take the whole tray of beers with him.
Yeah, that was awesome.
He goes to the announce table with it, puts it down, and he tells the guys at commentary, if you guys want some, go get your own because I'm not sharing today. And then, right from there, Pat Patterson heads his ass down to the ring as the special guest referee, and Austin is like, please tell me this is a rib.
Yeah, his favorite word.
Yeah, he uses that often.
Yep.
So, throughout the match, Austin is on commentary, but he's having some technical difficulties on commentary. His mic's not working. He's getting a little worked up about it, a little pissed. And he's going to knock out Jerry Lawler, sending Jerry Lawler out. And he's going to take Jerry Lawler's mic.
Yep.
I don't know. The purpose of it is probably to just have two guys on the mic. Maybe give Lawler a break for another segment that he might be in later. But that's probably what happened. Because I think Lawler is involved in something a little later. If my side notes are correct. Yeah, he does. He has a segment with Paul Bearer later. So.
Oh, it's a wicked good segment. That's good too. So
Lawler probably went back to work on that while Austin and JR did the duties on commentary. You have Funk and Foley. They beat the hell out of each other, of course. What do you expect? It's going to be knockdown, drag-out type of affair here where they're kicking the shit out of each other. So Foley ends up busted open, so we got blood on Raw. Terry Funk's going to do a freaking moonsault from,
53 years old.
Yeah, 53 years old, middle-aged and crazy. He's doing a moonsault from, the mid-level area. I don't even know how to really describe it, but you got the floor, and then you got the next section of seating. So on the very first row of that seating, he's going to do a moonsault off that platform onto the floor. Fucking nuts.
Yep.
And then from there, you're going to get a pile driver. Foley's going to pile drive Funk into a table. And then they go backstage. They're fighting backstage. They're fighting throughout the arena. You got lava lamps. I mentioned this before, but back in the first segment of the show, Austin is going to destroy the set, as I had said, but he kicks lava lamps off the set. So later on, during this match with Funk and Foley, they're walking around the ramp area on the floor, and Foley picks up the lava lamp and smacks Terry Funk with it. So, pretty cool. Being that it was Dude Love, now it's his lava lamp. He's like, shit, I'm going to use this. He whacks Terry Funk with it. And then Austin's, a couple of funny things that Austin said on commentary is he's going to mention Pat Patterson. He said this twice, too, so that's why it got my attention. He's like, Pat Patterson and his stupid little haircut. Now, Pat Patterson's hair looked pretty much the same, so I didn't notice the fucking haircut. So maybe, backstage, Patterson was like, I got a new hair. I just got my haircut. so maybe Austin's just ribbing him on TV, saying, yeah, you got your stupid little haircut. Mentions it a couple times, so something going on there, definitely. And then you have you got Mick Foley. He's yelling out to Austin while they're in the ring. He's like, "You're next." Foley to Austin, "You're next." Austin's response is perfect. "I'm next. You haven't even done the job yet, you stupid son of a bitch."
Finished it yet.
You haven't finished the match yet. You haven't even won yet, you stupid son of a bitch. So at this point, I'm just like, shit, this is a fucking awesome hardcore match. And generally, hardcore's not my thing, but with these guys, it works. Because it's real. It feels real with them. It's not contrived. I mean, it's the shit you like. It's Foley and Terry Funk, and
hell yeah,
man, who better than them?
It's my favorite kind of wrestling.
Fucking brawling.
Mm-hmm.
RASSILN is wrestling. Have you ever heard that song?
No.
It's like a country song from the 80s about 80s wrestling. It's like RASSLINS wrestling.
I hope they sing it better than you do.
Oh, definitely. Well, maybe not.
No, probably not.
But, yeah, I heard that on another podcast not that long ago. It's funny shit. So, Foley's going to get the victory, ultimately. And he's going to earn his title shot against Stone Cold Steve Austin at Over the Edge, which we'll be covering next week. And we also are going to have a watch-along, which I'll talk about again at the end of the show, like I said earlier. But we're leading to Over the Edge, and Foley's got his shot now because he beat Terry Funk. And then he doesn't stop there. Foley doesn't stop. He continues to beat on Funk throughout the duration of the closing of the match. And Austin's going to go in the ring. He's going to throw a bear right in Foley's face. And Foley's going to get Patterson in the claw, thinking that it's Austin. Then he realizes it real quickly, and he lets go. And Patterson tries to sneak up on Austin with a chair. Patterson's going to take a stunner. And then, I don't know if you noticed it, because it's kind of quick and random, but there's a fucking lemon, like a split lemon, that's thrown right into the ring and hits Patterson in the leg while he's on the ground after taking the stunner.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah. It's like, who the hell has a lemon?
Yeah. Like, where do you get one of those? They don't, like, sell them at the stadium, right?
No, you had to, like, put it in your pocket.
They don't put them in your mixed drinks. Yeah, like, you have to bring that shit in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Pretty silly. So as Foley's walking back up the ramp, the Dude Love music hits. But he's not Dude Love at this point. He said he's done with Dude Love. So the Dude Love music hits, and then you got Vince McMahon. He's coming out. He's strutting. He's doing his silly-ass Vince McMahon shit. And he's walking out with the dudettes, with the two hot dudettes. And he's also carrying the ring gear for Dude Love. And Mick Foley comes up to him. They embrace in a big hug. He embraces the girls. You know, Austin. You can see Austin in the ring. He's like shaking his head, but then he's like kind of laughing too. How fucking silly Vince McMahon is, just dancing. That's one of my favorite things, is to just watch Vince McMahon dance. Because he has this image of being like this big tough guy, and then he's like so silly dancing, gyrating and moving around.
Yeah, he's so awkward. It doesn't look natural.
I love the gift that's out there of him dancing from like 1985 or 86, where he's just like, he starts like flapping his arms, and then he's looking back and forth at his arms like he's confused with what's going on, and then he just starts breaking down even more. Like, whoa!
Like he can't control his body.
He can't control it.
Talking about.
Yeah. I love that one. That's a classic.
That is a good one. He has some good gifts out there.
Yeah, he's fucking funny. Oh, yeah. Like the one where he peeks his head up, or the one where he's like,
I like the one. Like he's
right, the one where they put with Roman Reigns a lot of times.
Yeah, like, that's my favorite one. It's always
up.
Associated with like beating off.
That's right. All right, so that pretty much concludes any Austin type segments going on in the show. So let's get into some side notes. We need to get a little side notes clip to drop in. Like, side notes, time to talk about side notes.
I'll try and find something. Something stupid.
All right, so we got Gerald Brisco. So this is kind of Austin related, but Gerald Brisco is going to have a personality profile narrated by Vince McMahon. I just thought it was pretty cool. Gives you a little background of who he is.
Yep.
You know, because not everybody knows his history that's watching. They probably just think, oh, who's this backstage guy? You know, he had a legit wrestling career in the past. So cool that they brought it up, and especially that Vince McMahon is narrating it, like putting Gerald Brisco over as being like this great person, you know. So that was pretty cool. You got an Edge vignette. So now we've had some Val Venus vignettes, but we also have Edge, Adam Copeland, coming soon. And he had like some emo type vignettes of the time where he's just like this man sitting out on the street and he's sad. He's walking around not knowing what to do, and he's getting into fights with people on the street.
It's like speaks to the time of like what rock and roll was kind of at that time.
Right.
Rock was in a weird place in like 1998, so it kind of reminds me of like a Collective Soul video.
Yeah, the black and white and the quick cut.
Yeah.
All right, so Edge is on the way. He's coming. Well, Val Venus is coming. Edge is just going to debut. Mm-hmm. All right, we got DX. And I think this is the first time that Triple H says, "Are you ready? Let's get ready to suck it."
Me too.
That's the first time, right?
I noticed that too.
Yeah, because we haven't talked about that, so it's got to be.
Nope. And we've been covering them, including them in just about every side note. So
right. Yeah, we haven't left anything out about DX. This could also be like the career of DX within the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin, basically.
Yeah, I mean it's Stone Cold, but it also we also cover covering the Attitude era in general. Like we do kind of a light review of almost each episode of Raw with these side notes. So, but my favorite side note. Can you guess what it is?
Stay off my grass?
No.
Oh. All right. Well, let me just say that so people are like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, yeah. We're still on DX here. Continue.
So, DX, Triple H says, stay off my grass, but don't be afraid to whack my weed.
His corny ass lines all the time.
His pseudo rip-off Andrew Dice Clay that he's doing here.
Yep.
Stay off my grass, but don't be afraid to whack my weed. And that's the whole 420 Road Dogg is big into that shit. LOD 2000 is going to come out, and this is their best promo that we see on WWF TV. They have some decent shit back in the NWA Crockett days, but this is the best thing that I've seen from them in WWE, and it's LD's going to come out and they're going to say, yeah, you got Mr. Ass. And that's going to make Road Dogg Mr. Hole. Get Triple H. It's Mr. Nose. And China, well, China's just Mr. They didn't have anything for X-Pac, so, X-Pac's there and he's like, why don't you talk to this right here? Pointing to his dick. And then Hawk says, I can't see it. Which is fucking perfect. It just shuts down X-Pac too. He doesn't know what to say.
He doesn't. No, he does. He has a rebuttal, but it's not good. He's like, why don't you look down your pants? You have one too, or something.
Really? He said that?
Yeah, he does.
Shit.
He does. But it's not good. It doesn't come off good.
Yeah, I guess that's why I didn't.
It's sufficient, but it's not great. One to Hawk.
Yeah. So ultimately, that leads to an 8-man match later in the night, and X-Pac is not. He's not ready to perform yet. Mm-hmm. So they replace him. They do a little segment where somebody from the other team gets kicked out. Sonny gets kicked out from ringside. So they're gonna kick out China. So X-Pac says, No, I'll leave. And then China takes X-Pac's place in the match. And not a great match or anything, but
it sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. But it's one of the first times you get China in a match.
Yeah.
So could be the first time she's in a match. All right, so what do you have for a side note?
The Jerry Lawler and Paul Bearer backstage segment that was supposed to, kayfabe, be off camera about Paul Bearer basically railing Undertaker's mom, and then the kayfabe apology from Jerry Lawler to kind of, I think it comes. Does it come right after?
It's right after the commercial break.
They're done. It's after the commercial break. All right, but man, that shit's funny. And he's like, "Oh, one leg was in." What do you say? One leg was on the East Coast, the other was on the West.
Yeah.
And I could hear the little footsteps coming down the stairs.
Little Taker was coming.
Little Taker.
Paul Bearer was hilarious there.
Yeah.
They should have had him in more comedy roles.
Yeah.
Because he was good. He was good.
That was awesome. That was funny. That shit was good.
And I like, it's like locker room humor, right? So they had Jerry Lawler. He's like, man, Paul Bearer buries the baloney in Undertaker's mother. But yeah, I thought that was definitely cool. Even just the fact that the cameraman's gonna put his camera down on the ground and it's gonna be tilted sideways while we watch this segment.
Perfect shot too.
Yep. But yeah, cool segment. I had a side note of a shitty ass WWF promo, an attitude promo. It's the WWF logo, not even the new scratch logo. It's a WWF logo that's like made out of steel with like rivets in it, and it's like waddling side to side, and it walks into a bar, and it drinks a beer, then it burps, and it goes, smells like attitude in here.
That sounds terrible. Sounds like a shitty MTV commercial.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like
1980s.
Yeah, you're right. Where the old MTV logo used to like bust through walls and shit.
Yeah. I didn't catch this though when I was doing my homework, so that's kind of funny. But that's how I picture it. It's what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's pretty much what it is. You got a Sable workout video. Woo-hoo! Damn. Did you see that?
Now all women work out like Sable. They do. Like a lot of women, like fitness is big for women. Like I don't think fitness was as big as far as weights, like aerobics and everything and all that shit. That Richard Simmons trash that was big in the '90s and stuff on their VHS tapes, and Suzanne Summers were the Thigh Masters. But as far as women actually like hitting the gym and lifting weights, it wasn't really like a big thing. And I think WWE did a great job pushing that for women because Sable kind of obviously starts this trend.
Well, and you have China, so she's doing that. Well,
China too. Yeah, she's doing it, but this is the first time you actually see like a
woman working out that way.
Yeah, women working out who also happens to be one of the most iconic sex symbols in all of entertainment in America at that time, being Sable. And then you see a lot of women from there, like Terry Runnels. She ends up coming on TV, and she's in a lot better. She was in good shape, but then you see. When she starts wrestling the ring, she's in like fit shape. You can tell she's hitting weights and stuff.
Yep. So
it just had me thinking, after watching that, like how progressive WWE was, even though they're using it to really sell sex.
But they're promoting
a lot of women now. Yeah, that's as much as a lot of women are promoting fitness, not take anything away from on like Instagram and all that stuff. It's also promoting sex at the same time. Yeah. Wearing tight clothes and all that. Like, I don't know. They're showing off their bodies.
Right. They know their core audience is men.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which is good. I think it's great that, that's like women can do that without being looked at as being like a manly.
Right. No, it is.
It's huge. It's good.
Only good.
And Sable kind of, seeing that, I was like, you didn't really see a lot of that on television, women working out like that. So in Sable, this is something that becomes like a theme for her almost, for like the next year or so.
That looks damn good too.
Good stuff. Yeah.
So from there, I'll segue into Val Venus talking about being a sex symbol. We actually get the ultimate sex symbol of 1998 appearing on TV here in this one of the final Val Venus vignettes, the Soldier of Love vignette, where he's standing there with he's wearing a army helmet, and you could just hear a girl moaning, and Val Venus is saying whatever the hell he's saying, typical shit. Hello, ladies. Oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. And then Jenna Jameson pops up from below. Jenna Jameson.
And if you don't know who Jenna Jameson is, because I don't know how old some of the people listening to this are, Jenna Jameson, so at the time in 1998, just to put things into perspective, the internet's becoming bigger. And what made the internet very big, whether people believe it or not, was pornography. So when Jenna Jameson shows up on WWE, at the time, she's also one of the bigger porn stars. And a lot of her videos are actually online through, I think it was like Vivid Entertainment or whatever at the time.
Yep.
And so she was like the sex icon for women in 1998. Like she was the most popular porn star, hands down. And I don't think up to that time there was even a porn star nearly as popular as she was. And a lot of that had to do with, the growth of the good old internet.
Yeah, exactly. Good historical perspective of porn there from our porn doctor, David.
You're welcome.
So very good there.
I was a pro at like 13.
Yeah, that's what the internet was used for.
We were in the forefront of internet, and along with internet as a kid was porno.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Bang bus.
Yeah, OG bang bus stuff.
All right, so that leads us to one last final side note segment that I want to cover. is Goldust. You know, last week on the Raw episode, Goldust he got a title shot, but he didn't win.
Yep.
So McMahon's pissed that he didn't win, just like McMahon's pissed at Foley for not winning. So Goldust is going to be punished for not winning the championship, and he's going to be put in a match against Kane. So it's like, well, you didn't win, so I'm going to let Kane kick your ass. So Undertaker's going to come out during that, and then you get Undertaker and Kane continue to go at it, and they're building up to a match. Well, they just had a match, but their feud is continuing on at that point. So that concludes the side notes there for that Raw of 258. And now we'll move on to Raw 259 from May 11th, 1998. This is happening in Baltimore, Maryland, and it is live. It's a live episode. And the show's going to start off with a Vince McMahon promo. No, we haven't had a promo yet, so here's a promo for you all. And it's basically going to be McMahon talking about being unhappy with Austin and Dude Love, and we're going to have some Dude Love coming out soon. So take a listen to that, and then we'll talk about the little details here in a moment. So enjoy.
And man, this crowd.
The moment that Stone Cold Steve Austin comes through that locker room door, he will be notified that he must tonight compete in tag team action in this very ring live.
Well, that's a shocker. We didn't know much about that.
I didn't know anything about it. And neither obviously does Austin.
But right now, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce to you a man who unquestionably has proven that he is willing to make the sacrifice. Willing to make sacrifices to the extent that once again he has been named the #1 contender, ladies and gentlemen, Dude Love!
Look at this!
I don't believe it.
Dude Love, a model employee this week. Suit and tie and all.
Mick Foley has shaved. And wait, he's got his teeth in. I've known this guy for years. I've never seen him with his front teeth in. He's got his front teeth in. He's wearing a suit. Well, or at least a part of a suit. The #1 contender for the WWF title looks to be carrying the Wall Street Journal as well.
I'll tell you what, I think Dude knows now, JR. If you're loyal to Mr. McMahon, he'll be loyal to you. He'll take care of you. Look at this. He looks like a professor.
I don't know if I go that far.
Mr. McMahon, last week on this very program, I seemed somewhat confused as to what my identity truly was.
He's even shaved.
Now I am proud to say, only 1 week later, I know exactly who I am.
He looks good, JR.
I am a well-educated man. I am a speaker of 4 different languages.
Really?
I am a reader of Greek tragedy and a student of American history. I am a lover of women. I am a leader of men. And I am a surprisingly good dancer for a big man. I am the king of hardcore wrestling. And as Stone Cold Steve Austin will find out at Over the Edge, I am the world's toughest SOB. I am the future World Wrestling Federation heavyweight champion. I am Dude Love.
The boss loves us. He's all smiles.
You know something, Mr. McMahon? For a long time, I've been ashamed to admit this, but for quite some time, it seemed that Dude Love had lost his smile. I am now happy to report that with the support of you, Mr. McMahon, and the whole World Wrestling Federation. I have found that smile, and it certainly feels good. And this time, Mr. McMahon, a handshake is just not going to do it.
Oh, no.
They're hugging. Last week they were dancing. This week they're hugging. Do you think there's a conspiracy, folks?
Great moment, please.
I'm proud of you, dude. And I have a surprise for you, because I would like to introduce to you and all of our wonderful fans the guest timekeeper that will keep time on May 31 at Over the Edge. He is the esteemed Gerald Brisco.
Uh-oh.
Next thing you know, Mr. McMahon's going to be endorsing again the Briscoe Brothers Body Shop down there in Tampa.
He's another McMahon loyalist.
I'm surprised that Gerald's lovely wife Barbara and the children aren't here for such a momentous occasion. He'll be ringing the bell.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, yet another surprise. May 31 Over the Edge, WWF title up for grabs. We need a guest ring announcer, Hall of Famer Pat Patterson.
Another longtime McMahon loyalist. The first Intercontinental Champion. And Pat Patterson, you know, he's going to be the ring announcer apparently at Over the Edge. He'll also be obviously sitting at ringside. And so will Mr. Briscoe. Can you feel a deck being stacked here?
Very interesting. Look at, dude is hugging, he's hugging everybody. The love
And just
fest.
one more surprise, if you'd bear with us just for a moment. And that is that, ladies and gentlemen, there will also be a very special guest referee.
Uh-oh.
This man stands tall. Indeed, he stands tall amid an abyss of mediocrity.
What?
This man's sheer physical presence is nothing short of awe-inspiring. This guest referee is a man of principle to the extent that he can swim in a sea of temptation and never run amok. He will set new standards in officiating here in the World Wrestling Federation. Dude, I give you your guest referee.
And?
Maybe the guest referee got the limber tail.
Your guest referee.
You have any idea what he could be talking about with the hints he gave us?
Hit the music.
All right, so there you have it. Austin is notified that he's going to be in tag team action tonight on Raw. And Vince McMahon is going to introduce the number one contender for the WWF Championship. It's Dude Love. Again. So Dude won his match against Terry Funk, so now he's the number one contender. He's coming out. He's wearing a shirt and a tie. He's wearing a blazer. He's gone corporate. He's a corporate dude. But he can't be too corporate. He's got to fuck it up a little bit. He's got sweatpants on. He's wearing sneakers. But he has his hair tied back. He's shaved. He doesn't have any stubble. He has his goatee, but no stubble on the sides. And he also has his front teeth in. And he's happening to walk out there with a Wall Street Journal. Dude Love's out there. You know, he's speaking of being, I'm educated. I'm a lover of women. I'm a leader of men. And actually, I'm a good dancer for a big man. I'm like,
He says that, I know. He calls himself a big man. He's a big guy, but come on, dude.
yeah, you're not a big man. I guess he is. He's over 6 feet tall and
Yeah, but
nearly
you
300
never
pounds.
call yourself that.
Yeah, I'm
What
a
is
big
he,
man.
6'4"?
I don't know. Off the top of my head. Yeah, that's a big man, though.
Yeah.
He's the king of hardcore wrestling. You know, he's the world's toughest SOB. Oh, wrong thing to say. He's taking Stone Cold.
Trigger.
Yeah.
It's the trigger word.
Yeah. I'd say yes, you're the toughest SOB. Stone Cold doesn't like that. You know, like when Vince McMahon says that about Tyson. Is out. McMahon, Dude Love, is going to watch out there. And he also says that he's the future World Wrestling Federation champion. I am Dude Love. And Dude and McMahon, they hug each other again. McMahon's going to announce that there's going to be a guest timekeeper at the pay-per-view Over the Edge. It's going to be Gerald Brisco. There'll also be a guest ring announcer, and it's Pat Patterson. Then you got a guest referee, who's a man of principle. He'll set new standards for officiating. So it's not announced. So he's making like this big thing, actually it's Pat Patterson saying this. And McMahon's waiting. He's like, "Oh shit, let me go get him." And McMahon runs to the back, and then Pat Patterson announces again, and McMahon walks out. So McMahon is the special guest referee. He has no music, not at this point. And I just thought that was funny that he's in the ring already, and then he goes running like he's gonna get the guy, and he is the guy. Pretty funny. And we'll play that clip for you now. So listen to it's a quick little 30-second thing of Pat Patterson announcing Vince McMahon. Take a listen.
And he's a loyalist.
And now, at Over the Edge, on May 31st, the special guest referee will be the best there was, the best there is,
What?
and the best that ever will be, Vince McMahon!
What?
You got it.
No.
And Austin's not here. Austin doesn't know this.
Oh, my.
I may be canned again. I've been fired twice here, but I got to, my God, you have to be a Mensa student or class valedictorian to figure out that Vince McMahon is going to do all he can to take the WWF title from the Rattlesnake.
All right, so there it was, very quick there. Pat Patterson announces that Vince McMahon is the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be, Vince McMahon. Then McMahon comes out with his sleeveless ref shirt, strutting down, getting some great heat from the crowd. So, very cool there. Just like, still rubbing it in Bret Hart's face, too. At that point, I don't think Bret Hart's in WCW, so he's probably just laid up on the couch watching Raw.
I guess I'll switch over. What are they doing with Owen?
Piss me off. So, pretty funny there. He was probably pissed at Pat Patterson for saying that. Guaranteed.
Oh, absolutely.
Steve Austin's going to arrive. He's going to arrive in a Lincoln Town car that he rented. And hard-hitting Kevin Kelly is going to ask Austin about the match tonight. Say, what do you think of Vince being the guest referee? And obviously Austin's pissed. Not much to it at all. Other than that, we move on now to another promo. You got Steve Austin. And Steve Austin is questioned about all the decisions that were just made for Over the Edge with the you got the guest referee. You have timekeeper. A ring announcer. It's all stacked against Austin. So let's see what Austin has to say. He's obviously going to be pretty pissed off. So let's take a listen to Austin.
At Over the Edge, Vince McMahon might have stacked the cards against Stone Cold Steve Austin by having a little timekeeper, a bell ringer, and himself as a special referee. But I really don't give a rat's ass about all that. I ain't gonna come out here and cry and complain because it doesn't bother me one bit. Vince McMahon, I know you hate my guts, and that doesn't bother me because you either like me or you don't, and I know you can't stand me, and I feel the same way about you. You want to bring me out here tonight, put me in a tag match. Don't tell me who my opponents are. Don't tell me who my partner is. The least you could do is bring your little yellow carcass out here and give me just a little bit of information. I think you owe that to me. If you're any kind of man whatsoever, you come right here in the middle of this ring and tell me exactly what we're doing tonight.
That's not too much to ask.
Tonight is that we're having a little board of directors meeting here tonight. And as far as Over the Edge is concerned, with the guest referee, with the guest announcer, ring announcer, and the guest timekeeper, Mr. Austin, I would suggest to you that as far as your championship is concerned, it is indeed going over the edge. However, let's get down to brass tacks. Let's talk about tonight. I don't recall any conversation as to who Mr. Austin's opponents are. Do you?
I have no idea, and I really don't care. I don't care.
I don't know. I don't.
Who's
know.
his partner?
Mr. McMahon. I don't know.
I see. So the only thing we can say, Mr. Austin, to you in some sort of gesturing capacity might be this.
Big
You can cover up your eyes, your ears, and your mouth, but you can't cover up your ass. And when this is all said and done, that's exactly where I'm going to stick this damn belt. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
All right, so Austin comes out. The deck is stacked against him. And one of the first things Austin's actually going to say is he doesn't give a rat's ass about it. I don't give a rat's ass. I love that phrase, rat's ass. I don't give a rat's ass. Where the hell did that phrase come from? Freaking rat's ass.
I don't give a rat's ass. Probably some like angry Irish people during like the fucking, what is it, the potato famine? Like the plague or some shit?
Either the plague or the potato famine. The plague was because of rats.
I did give a rat's ass about his fucking plague.
The fleas that were on the rats.
Yeah.
I don't give a rat's ass about the plague.
Probably.
Anyway, so he says, I know Vince hates me. I hate him too. You know, Austin's going to point out that Vince never told him who his partner's going to be for his a match tonight. He said he's going to be in tag team action later tonight, but he doesn't know who his partner is. Doesn't know who his opponents will be. So it's bullshit. He wants to know. He wants the answers. So he's going to call Vince out. Tell me who my partner is. Tell me who my opponent is. So Vince McMahon shows up on the big screen with Brisco and Patterson, and they do their the monkey act. They do a little speak no evil, see no evil, hear no evil. They cover up their mouths, their eyes, and their ears. Do their little thing there, and Austin's like, haha, real funny. You can't cover up your ass, and that's exactly where I'm going to stick the belt. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Good line.
Can't cover up your ass. It always goes back to the ass. Always back to the ass.
Always. That's his go-to.
You're going to give a rat's ass. Belt's going to go up your ass. He's going to have another ass reference later on. That's even funnier. We'll get to that soon. So, we're going to get to that main event match now, and that is Austin, mystery partner at this point, but his opponents are going to be The Rock and D'Lo Brown from the Nation. This match is going to start at the 1 hour, 23-minute mark. And right from the start, right at the start of this match, you're going to see a sign that says The Rock sucks cock. I was like, wow, holy shit. It's not like it just like glanced over it. That's like the sign that they were focusing on. It's just like how things have changed over the years. The Rock sucks cock. Anyway, so
nowadays, if you had that sign, the person who had that sign would be banned.
Yeah, you get
from
banned. You'd be on social media. You'd be on like a news site. You'd get fired from your job, probably.
You'd get a lot of retweets, though.
Yeah. Well, that does a whole lot of good. Getting retweets.
But you'll never be allowed in that stadium in Baltimore, Maryland ever again.
Right. So it's announced very quickly that Austin's partner is going to be Vince McMahon, which just means shit, basically. It means Vince McMahon's not going to participate at all. But that means that really it's just going to be a handicap match. So it's a way of Vince McMahon screwing Austin, like, all right, I'm your partner, but I'm not helping you. And you got The Rock and D'Lo by yourself. So Austin and The Rock start things off. Austin's going to go right up.
Nice, not to interrupt, but I just want to point out nice little opening promo by The Rock before the match kicks off, pretty much noting that how this kind of reignites the fire between him and Stone Cold. So he does address the fact that they have prior history.
Yep, good point.
And obviously we know there's a lot more to come. And I just thought that was good because it almost looked like The Rock was like stepping it up a little, knowing that he was in the ring with Stone Cold. Because I think he probably liked his short little it wasn't short, but
yeah, it was 2 months.
That's a better word. Yeah.
And it gave him a huge boost.
Yeah, that kind of,
So he's like, shit, I got another opportunity with Stone Cold right here. So
yeah.
Let me try to.
Who's the perfect, The Rock's best dance partner?
Yeah, so let me say something.
Each other's best dance partner.
Yeah, so he's probably thinking, let me say something that gets the writers thinking, all right, they're not done yet. So
yeah,
go back to that.
So I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, good point. Good job. So, yeah, Austin and Rock, they're going to start things off. And basically, this is like Austin versus The Rock, the entire match, which was cool.
Yep.
It's like an impromptu Rock versus Austin. It's happening right here on Raw. So, definitely worthy of going back and taking a look at if you're into that feud, which I don't know why you wouldn't be if you listen to this podcast. So, Austin is going to start things off with The Rock. He's going to go outside the ring. He's going to knock down Brisco and Patterson. He's going to knock them together. You got The Rock walking away, which The Rock often does. He did it in his match with Austin before. Austin does his sneak up from behind, running clothesline. I feel like that happens often. He did it with Owen. He did it with The Rock. He does it with Dude Love. It's just an Austin spot that he has them do. All right, walk away. I'm going to clothesline you from behind up the aisle.
Up the ramp.
Yeah. So at this point, just this early in the match, I'm already thinking to myself, Austin's looking great. Like the past few matches, has been on Raw. He's starting. What are you gonna say?
He's leaned out.
Yeah,
he's leaned out. He looks. He's definitely a more. His cardio's better.
Yep.
So he's not like in for a few minutes in these short bursts, and then he just looks winded. He can actually, sustain from a. He can actually breathe, it looks like, in his match. Because a lot of times it looks like he's gassed.
Yeah, remember back when he came back at Survivor Series, just before that, or even actually in September when he was doing the whole stunner thing to everybody? He'd be running up the ramp and he'd be tired before he got up the ramp.
Yeah.
Totally gassed
and
out.
You can kind of tell he's more comfortable with his physique now, as he's probably lifting a little better. He's working out a little bit harder because he's taking the sleeves off his shirt a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Which is usually a sign of you have a little bit more confidence in your appearance, whereas before he was just kind of wearing the whole shirt. But these past couple Raws, he's not really wearing sleeves on any of his shirts. He's trying to show the guns. He's been putting the work in. He wants to reap the reward a little with some attention.
Yeah. That's a damn good insight right there.
Yeah, that's kind of how I look at it.
Getting into the mind.
I know when I wear cutoffs,
yeah.
When I wear cutoffs, it's usually because
I'm feeling good.
I think I'm feeling good a little past month or so. I'd rock a cutoff, whereas before I'd be like, just wear a t-shirt.
Yeah,
keep the sleeves on.
Nice.
Guns can stay in their case.
Yep. All right, so you have a nice back and forth between Rock and Austin there. Like I said before, it's basically a handicap match. Vince is not getting involved in it all. He's not going to try to help Austin at all. So this is a great way to continue to build heat on McMahon in the Austin feud. Yep. McMahon's going to step in and distract the ref. For no reason, he just gets in and talks to the ref. And while that's happening, D'Lo hits Austin from behind. And then they cut to a sign that says, "Give D'Lo Brown a real push." I was like, yeah. I thought he was totally underrated. He is definitely one of the most underrated stars of the Attitude Era.
Yeah,
D'Lo Brown.
I think so. He's definitely up there with like Owen Hart and stuff, but I don't think they got their. I don't think they got their due. Obviously, Owen Hart's situation was a little different, but
Right.
I don't know why they never really went more into D'Lo.
Yeah, they just kept
I don't know
him.
why.
And they
Maybe
gave
he
him
just wasn't
titles
putting
and
the work in, but I figure he never got like a main event push or even a tease.
yeah. Maybe
And
just
he was kind of like in the.
They never gave him the mic
and
time
OD.
either.
No, maybe he wasn't good on the mic. But
Yeah.
I thought he was good.
Yeah, so anyway, that fan was right on there, though. See,
Yeah.
it's just like today. You got these people that
Yep.
you want to be stars that they're not pushing. You know?
Yep.
They just never move up. All right, so back to the action. You got Austin's going to block a rock bottom. This leads to a double clothesline. Austin looks for a tag. McMahon does nothing. Doesn't try to tag in. Austin gives him the birds. It's like, fuck you then. And
Yeah.
then Austin starts to beat down The Rock and D'Lo. D'Lo's going to take a stunner. Austin tosses The Rock out of the ring. Then McMahon finally runs into the ring, and he gives a clothesline to Austin. Fucking dickhead. Just stumps the whole momentum. Takes Austin down. Brisco and Patterson come in. They start stomping on Austin. They hold up Austin for McMahon. And Austin's going to kick McMahon. He's fighting back, trying to hold off Brisco and Patterson. Like throwing his feet up in the air to kick McMahon. And then you have Dude Love run in. And he attacks Austin. He gets the mandible claw on him. Now you got a big Donnybrook going on. And Dustin Rhodes comes out for whatever reason. I guess because he's pissed at McMahon. DX comes out, and the show ends. So this made me think, it's probably just like leading to a post-match after Raw.
Yeah. Because at this time, DX is kind of starting their feud with NOD too. So
Right. So they probably had some shit going on after that. Which concludes Raw. So let's get into some side notes. JV, do you have any side notes you want to point out?
One I liked was I didn't see it in yours, but this is some just because recently Yamaguchi-san passed away on March 9th. And it was funny because when I saw he passed, I couldn't pinpoint who he was. And this was just a couple of days ago.
It wasn't funny that he died, but it was...
No, but it was like, I knew it was, not funny, bad word. But I knew who he was, but I couldn't pinpoint, who was he
what was
with?
he from?
Who were the guys he was with. Yeah, and he was actually with Kai and Tai.
Yep.
And on this episode of Raw, just crazy that it ended up like this because, we're covering it and he just recently passed. And he introduces Kai and Tai.
Yep.
So rest in peace to...
rest in peace, Yamaguchi-san.
Yamaguchi-san.
Yeah, Kai and Tai.
So
Pretty cool little stable at the time, too.
Yeah.
They've been around. We haven't talked about them in side notes yet, but they've been around for a couple weeks, interrupting matches and attacking out of nowhere, jumping in from the crowd. Nobody really knows who they are.
Mostly Taka Michinoku. It's kind of
usually,
beating
right.
up.
Because looking at Taka Michinoku as like a traitor to a Michinoku Pro, where they all wrestled, so they're attacking him. And you got Funaki in there.
Funaki.
Well, actually, no.
I loved all those guys.
Oh, Funaki's not
not
there
Funaki?
yet. No. Well, he's gonna come later. He's the fourth guy, but
okay.
He's not in there yet. But
I know he's in there.
Dick Togo, or as Conrad Thompson likes to say, Dick to go. Shohei Utani, something like that. No, that's a baseball player. There's a Shohei though, I think, something like that. Shohei Utani.
Well, another thing that was just to kind of piggyback off that was actually Bradshaw and Taka Michinoku hanging out in it looks like a Chrysler Sebring.
Yeah,
and he's trying to Bradshaw is trying to who's basically an all American quote unquote redneck from the South.
Yep.
And he's hanging out with Taka Michinoku, so he's trying to Americanize him. He's teaching him how to drive, and he has him smoking cigars, which is hilarious. Yeah. So it was a good little segment there.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Even at this time, in a segment like that, who are two very low card guys, barely on the card,
not even mid card
talents.
Yeah.
We know Bradshaw because of becoming JBL, and his career kind of takes off and all that, yada yada yada. But at the time, he was a very low card guy. And it was interesting. The low card shit was interesting. It wasn't made out even though there's humor in it, it wasn't made out to be a complete joke.
Right. Well, that's the thing with Vince Russo
Like
writing,
campy.
is that he wanted to get as many people involved in storylines rather than just being matches. Because ultimately, if it's entertainment, then who gives a shit about just a match? You know, you got diehard wrestling fans, but if they don't have true wrestling skills where they're going to put on 4 to 5 star matches, then why do you care about them? You got to give them a story.
Yep.
So, you know, it's the Russo.
And everybody has a story at this time,
right?
Whether you agree with the story or not, it's still trying to build some kind of interest,
right? And sometimes you got to throw shit against the wall and see what works.
Yep.
And not everything's going to work. It's just the way it is.
But those were the 2 side notes I had. You can kind of continue with whatever other side notes you wanted to add in here.
Well, I got DX, and we cover DX all the time, so can't miss out on them. You got DX, they're going to go to the CNN Center, and they're going to go to WCW's offices this week. So it continues from, a couple weeks ago where they tried to invade Monday Nitro. So now they're going to actually go to where the business operates from. So first they go up to WCW offices, and it looks like it's a bank. It's just in a rural area. The parking lot is just meager, and it's a 1-story building, and it's the WCW offices. And security's happy to see them, like last time where it's it's DX. Nobody's like, hey, get the hell out of here. Everyone's in open arms. And I just thought that was funny. But then later they go to the CNN Center, which is like a mall, basically. There's restaurants, stores, all on the lower section of the CNN Center. And they're in there signing autographs, hanging out with a bunch of people again. And that is pretty cool, but it gets very lame at the end where they shoot their little cannon shot at the CNN Center with the shitty-ass graphic.
Oh, terrible graphics. Terrible.
Looks like shit big time. And, that was pretty cool, but ultimately it gets interrupted by Owen Hart. Now, Owen Hart is going to come out with new music. Enough is enough, and it's time for change. And then it has some Nation music with it. The Rock's music is, he has his own now. Know Your Role, whatever. And then it's kind of like Nation-ish. You know what I mean? Has the bow, 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 same kind of music, just like a remix basically of it. And Owen Hart has the same thing. He has Enough is Enough, it's time for a change. And then the music is sort of like the Nation music, just redone slightly.
Yeah, remixed slightly. Yeah. A light remix.
Yeah. So this is leading now to the Nation versus DX feud. And this is a memorable one because we know, there's some big segments to come with this, especially when DX is going to act like they're the Nation.
The Croc.
Yeah, the Croc. So that's going to be coming up soon.
Hey, hey, hey.
Yeah, X-Pac.
I can't wait to cover that. X-Pac.
Yeah, that's a classic scene, so that should be coming up soon within the next few episodes or so.
Yep.
And I guess the other big side note I wanted to bring up was you got Al Snow. Al Snow's going to return. And,
yes,
Al Snow was around when we started this podcast. He was in the New Rockers, and he was Leif Cassidy, and then he just became Al Snow with Marty Jannetty. And then he left. He went to ECW. And WWF and ECW had a good working relationship, so they would send people over to ECW, and ECW would have some people show up on Raw for a few times. So Al Snow worked over at ECW for a little bit, and he was able to have the freedom to come up with a character, and he created this kind of like schizophrenic or split personality type character that talks to a mannequin head. And the name was Head. So Al Snow is going to take that character that got over big time in ECW, and he's going to return to WWF with it. And the crowd's going to love him because of how he got over basically on the indie scene. And now he's a big star. So he left as like a jobber, and he got himself over, and now he's back as somebody that could potentially be a star, at least to a part of the audience. Even if he's not in the main events, he's a good mid-carder that people are excited to see. So he shows up, and he's going to go right up to commentary. He puts a headset on. It was even funnier because then he puts a headset on Head. He's talking to Head, but he eventually gets kicked out, and he's trying to get into the arena throughout the night, which was pretty cool. One last side note. Yeah, that's it for side notes. That's pretty much it. So, good episode of Raw. Let's now move on to Raw 260. And like I said, it was a good episode of Raw. These 3 Raw episodes in a row, early May, they're awesome. These are just like non-stop awesome
Agreed.
Raws. So we're going to get to our
2
last...
hours of awesome television.
It's awesome. Just
every week.
So let's get to this last one.
When I was watching these, just before we get into one thing I caught myself while I'm watching this, I thought to myself, like, man, at what point during these episodes was I fucking switching to Nitro? Because I was. You know what I mean? Everybody did. Everybody switched. It's like,
I know.
I must have, like, it's crazy because obviously Nitro had some good shit at this time still.
I feel like I need to go back and look at Nitro. Like, after I do my runouts, I need to, like, just look at what Nitro had. Not even watch it, but just what the hell happened on Nitro that night.
See what they had going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that we're going to report on it or anything, but I just want to know what the hell did they have going on that was better than this?
I did actually find a site a while back, not a while back, but when we were first starting the show, and I like came across a page randomly on the internet and it was this, they were basically each week grading who won. Like where there was a Raw had a better episode or Nitro, and then who had the better main event.
Yep.
And I had looked at a couple, and it was pretty extensive.
I'll have to look that up. Take a look at that. All right, so let's get to this last Raw. We got Raw 260 from May 18th, 1998. This is happening in Nashville, Tennessee, and this is a live episode of Raw. It's going to kick off with a promo from Vince McMahon. So let's listen to that promo, and then we'll talk about it.
Vince, Mr. McMahon.
Along with the McMahon loyalists.
As a result of my devastating clothesline delivered to Stone Cold Steve Austin last week here on Raw, it is rumored that Mr. Austin has suffered a mild concussion.
I have not heard that, as a matter of fact. He looked pretty good in Birmingham, Alabama last night.
Now, there's no doubt Mr. Austin is a very spirited individual, and given the opportunity, might attempt to extract some degree of revenge or retribution against myself or my associates here tonight. And if, of course, he did, the damage done to Stone Cold Steve Austin last week would be nothing compared to the injury he would sustain at our hands here tonight. So therefore, I've taken the liberty, ladies and gentlemen, and this is only for Steve Austin's protection, for his own protection, I have taken the liberty to bar Steve Austin from this arena here tonight.
For Stone Cold's protection?
Not a popular decision.
As a matter of fact, you might find, some of you might find this piece of videotape we have a little humorous, as Mr. Austin attempted to make his way into the arena a few minutes ago.
This happened just moments ago, ladies and gentlemen, we understand.
I've been given strict orders by Mr. McMahon. I'm not to allow you into the building. I'm sorry, I don't want a physical confrontation. I'm just doing my job. And Mr. McMahon's giving me strict orders not to let you in the building.
Mr. McMahon told you that. You sent one person to keep me out of the building.
Yes, sir.
You looked to be about 5'10", maybe 210, 215 pounds. You realize I could have a field day with your sorry ass?
I'm sure you could, sir, but I don't want a physical confrontation. I'm just following orders. I'm just doing my job.
Well, since I'm in such a good mood, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go to my truck. I'm going to have me a couple of Steve Wises. When I come back in about 5 minutes, we can do this the easy way or we can do this the hard way. And I think you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know what you're saying, sir. I don't want to physical confrontation. I'm just
Well, you got 5 minutes to think about whether you're going to let me in or whether I'm going to have to beat your ass to get in. But one way or another, I will get in that building. You understand me?
I understand.
You understand me?
Yes, sir.
Then say, yes, sir, Mr. Austin.
Yes, sir, Mr.
You're
Austin.
damn right.
And again, I repeat, Austin, for his own protection, has been barred from this arena.
All right, so Vince McMahon is going to walk out. You got Austin chants like crazy. And McMahon's coming out with the Stooges. He's coming out with Brisco and Patterson. And JR is actually going to announce on commentary that here comes Vince McMahon. But then you have Michael Cole jump in and say, oh, Mr. McMahon. So they've gradually, over the past couple of weeks, been sneaking in Mr. McMahon because, the audience is used to Vince McMahon. Oh, Vince McMahon, the commentator. But now they're transitioning to Vince McMahon being the boss, Mr. McMahon. So that's the heel persona of Vince McMahon, Mr. McMahon. And Michael Cole is making sure to respond to that. Now, I wonder if it was like a slip-up from JR and Michael Cole is trying to save it. Oh, no, it's Mr. McMahon.
Yeah.
Or if it was just intentional that JR said Vince McMahon because he doesn't give a shit. Fuck Vince McMahon. He's had his issues with him before. And then you got Cole, who's the young...
Still does.
Cole's the young guy. It's like, oh, no. You got to save Mr. McMahon. Anyway, still noteworthy. I liked it. McMahon goes out into the ring. He's going to brag about his devastating clothesline to Austin, which was pretty damn good. It was a good clothesline. Probably because of Austin taking a nice bump, but good clothesline nonetheless, and McMahon's going to brag about it. And he also brings up that Austin may have had a mild concussion. And Austin's injury from last week will be nothing compared to what we will do to him if he tries to attack us tonight, because he's going to want retribution, and if he tries it, he's going to have some trouble. And then the whole time while McMahon's talking, Briscoe's like rubbing McMahon's shoulders. And then Briscoe even like reenacts the clothesline. It's like, yeah, the clothesline. That's right. It's just like so goofy.
Yeah, he is.
We said last week that Briscoe's like the best. He's the best stooge.
Yeah, I don't even think it's close either. I think Pat Patterson comes across as more annoying, and Briscoe comes across as more like entertaining.
Yeah, I agree with that. I enjoy Pat Patterson, but yeah, Briscoe's
me too.
Just,
like that's what
Briscoe's more subtle.
Patterson was easier to hate.
Yeah, Briscoe's subtle too, so he's doing little things that are funny. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He's not trying to be funny. Doesn't seem like he's trying to be funny. It just comes off as funny. So anyway, McMahon's like, I have taken the liberty for Austin's protection to bar Austin from the building tonight. For his protection, for Austin's protection. Because, us 50-plus, 60-plus guys are going to kick the shit out of this 33-year-old. Who's on top of the world right now. And McMahon's going to play a video clip. And it's Austin trying to get into the building. And he gets stopped by a security guard. And Austin's kind of like playing with him. He's like, all right, whatever, boy. He's like, you look to be around like 5'10", 210, 215. I can have a field day with your ass. And the guy's like, yeah, I understand. I understand. So Austin leaves. He's like, all right, fine. I'll leave, whatever. And then the security guard's like on the hunt the whole night. Like, oh, is that you got Steve Austin? Nope, he can't come in. Now Jerry Lawler's going to bring in a guy that's wearing a blanket. He's like, is Austin under there? So the security guard is on top of it. He wants to definitely make sure that Austin does not get in the building. So we'll get back to that later, because obviously Austin is getting in the building. So the promo continues. Okay, we cut it off short there. But it's going to continue on, and we're going to play the rest of it for you now, another few minutes. And Dude Love is going to come back out with the corporate look, with his sweatpants and his blazer. So I'll take a listen to Dude Love and McMahon, and we'll talk about it right after that.
Perhaps the next World Wrestling Federation champion. Ladies and gentlemen, Dude Love!
is debuting tonight.
Dude Love!
Paul Bear's going to prove that he's Kane's father tonight.
Mr. McMahon, it seems somewhat ironic as the hours tick away and May 31st draws closer that as Steve Austin's reign as champion comes to an end, the Dude only becomes stronger. The Dude's appearance becomes younger. And as we all learned last week, the Dude becomes more handsome and well-educated every day. Mr. McMahon, I believe May 31st will be a night where dreams come true for all of us. For you, Mr. Brisco, because it will be your hand that rings the bell, signifying the end of Steve Austin. Dreams will come true for you also, Mr. Patterson, because it will be your voice as special guest ring announcer that announces the name of Dude Love. A name that will indeed be music to the ears of any sports entertainment fan who is sick and tired of Mr. Austin's vulgarities. And then, Mr. McMahon, it will become time for my dreams to come true. Because it will be your hand as special guest referee, your hand, Mr. McMahon, strong but sensitive, that hits the mat for 1, 2, 3, thereby propelling the name Dude Love into history as not only a hardcore legend, as not only the toughest SOB in the WWF, but as the new World Wrestling Federation heavyweight champion.
All right, so there you had it. You had Dude Love. He comes out. He's got his corporate thing going on, and he's going to mention that, every week I get stronger. My appearance becomes younger. I become more handsome. I become more educated every day because he's reading the Wall Street Journal, apparently. And on May 31st, it'll be a night where my dreams come true. Dreams will come true for all of us. For Brisco, you will ring the bell. Pat Patterson, your voice will be announcing the name of the new champion, Dude Love. And Mr. McMahon, my dreams will come true as your hands hit the mat for a 1, 2, 3. Which, if you've seen the match before, JV, we just watched it. We got a watch along coming up this weekend. That's foreshadowing right there. When your hands hit the mat with a 1, 2, 3. So we'll get into that more next week. But that's some foreshadowing.
That's a damn good catch too.
Yep. And Dude Love says, I will be known no longer just as the king of hardcore, but as the new WWF World Heavyweight Champion. And then there's more to the promo, but we're not going to play the audio because it's more about Dustin Runnels. McMahon's going to call out Dustin Runnels. He's going to say, Dustin Runnels stuck his nose in our business. We're going to talk to him. So Vince is going to make a deal with Dustin that if he can defeat Dude Love tonight on Raw, Dustin will take the title shot from Dude Love at Over the Edge. But if he loses, Dustin will have to work for free for 30 days. So Dustin Runnels accepts it. He's going to attack Dude Love right from the start. But then the Stooges attack Dustin. And the three of them just beat on Dustin. And there you have it. And from there now, Austin is going to have a rebuttal about what was said at the beginning of the show there. And this is happening at 25 minutes and 56 seconds. This happens for about 5 minutes. So we're going to play that clip for you right now. So take a listen.
Tomorrow night in Chattanooga, Friday night in Ottawa, Saturday night, what a spectacular in Toronto. This could be most interesting.
Give me a hell yeah. Oh, you damn right. Because Stone Cold, we're going to crash the party anytime I want to. If there's going to be a Monday Night Raw, you can damn well bet your last little bottom dollar that Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to be there. Vince McMahon can pull all the little strings he wants, and I'm starting to get just a little more pissed off about it each and every day.
That's not good for Vince.
No.
So what we're going to do, we're going to bring this crap to an end. I want Vince McMahon, Pat Patterson, Gerald Brisco to bring their little coward asses out here, and we're going to settle this right now.
Oh, he didn't mix any words.
You got 30 seconds to bring your ass out here, or I'll tear up every little $50,000 camera you got. You can't afford not to bring your ass out here. I got my little second hand ticking right now, Vince. You damn right, because you know I ain't BSing you.
Who the hell do you think you are? This is my arena. You're calling me and my associates out here? You're breaking in to my arena?
Oh, hell yeah.
Who do you think you are?
I think I'm the person standing in here looking at three jackasses dressed up in suits. You put your jacket back on, Patterson, I'll come up there and stomp a mud hole in your ass and walk it dry. What I want tonight out of you is for all three of you to come down here, and so we're going to settle and say, I don't want to wrestle you. I don't want to arm wrestle you. I don't want to do none of that trash. I want to fight all three of you. So let's do it tonight and let's settle it all. I want all of your asses, and that's the only way I'll have it. Oh, bring it on.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wait a
Don't
minute.
take a forward step, son. You don't want none of me.
Well, obviously, I don't go to a street fight in clothes like these, all right? I mean, look at the quality of this tweed jacket. Mr. Austin, you want a street fight with the three of us here tonight?
Not only do I want a street fight, if you want a street fight, give me a hell yeah.
Well, what about it, Mr. Patterson? You want to do this or not?
I want to get in the ring with you, Austin. You're an idiot. And on top of that, Austin, 2 weeks ago when I refereed, and when I was refereeing, I listened to your commentary, and you said I suck. Well, I don't suck.
I think you do.
What about you, Mr. Brisco?
Let me tell you something, Stone Cold Steve Austin. You're out here, you're running down my balls. Let me tell you something, you don't call us Stooges. I have a tremendous amount of respect for Mr. McMahon, and anything he wants me to do, I'll do. And if he'll allow me to come down there and kick your new wife, I'll do it.
No.
Oh, let him go, let him go.
I'll tell you what, in an interest of fairness, you get 2 out of the 3. I mean, it just wouldn't be fair if all 3 of us came down there and put knots on your head, all right? So, we'll give you a little slack. We'll give you 2 out of 3. We're just not going to tell you which 2.
That's fine with me. You say you don't want to put some knots on my head. I'm going to put knots on all your asses by the time this thing is all said and done.
So we got a street fight coming up.
Let me tell you something. You're looking at 3 musketeers here. You're looking at all for one and one for all.
I think everybody here would agree with me that you can all go screw yourselves. It don't matter which 2 out of 3 of you is going to get your ass whipped, and that's the bottom line. Because Stone Cold said so.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you hear it. Right here tonight, we got a street fight. Stone Cold is going to fight either McMahon or Patterson.
They're crazy. They're crazy. There's no way they can get in the ring with Stone Cold. They're nuts.
It is going to be chaotic.
All right, so from the start there, Austin is pretty fed up with the security guard, and he's going to kick the shit out of that guy.
Noticeably agitated, Stone Cold is.
So he ends up in the building. He's going to run down to the ring. He's going to call out McMahon, Briscoe, and Patterson. The McMahon comes out. Who do you think you are? This is my arena. You're breaking into my arena. I was like, I'm thinking, this is not your arena. You're renting the damn building out.
You're fucking renting it, bro.
Right. Yeah. It's not your arena. It's your business. And all you do is go from place to place around the country renting places. It's not yours. None of it's yours. So anyway, Austin responds with, well, who do I think I am? You know, who do you think I am? Well, I'm the person looking at 3 jackasses dressed up in suits. Then Pat Patterson, he's starting to get a little ballsy. He's acting like he's going to run down to the ring. Austin's like, hey, I'll stomp a mud hole in your ass and walk it dry. I want to fight all 3 of you. I want all your asses because that's the only way I'll have it.
It's okay.
So there's the ass comment. I want all your asses because that's the only way I'll have it. So Austin points out that he wanted a street fight. Patterson wants it. He calls Austin an idiot. You're an idiot. No, I listened to your commentary, and you said I suck. Well, I don't suck. Then Austin, I think you do. I was just thinking, like, wow, like, now that I know, because I didn't know at the time that Pat Patterson was homosexual.
No, neither did I. Nope.
You know, I only probably realized that, like, in the past few years. I found out about it. But watching back, it's like, oh, shit, they were even playing with the idea that he was gay back then. It's like, wow, what a sport. It's like, that's pretty hilarious and pretty cool of Pat Patterson to just allow with that. So it shows that he was comfortable with who he is.
Some people wouldn't have handled that so well. They would have kind of taken it as opportunity to promote a different platform. But Pat Patterson, these guys were professionals, Briscoe and Patterson.
Right.
So.
And they're old timers, too.
Yeah, they know the industry, so they know entertainment. Period. They know wrestling, but they also fucking know entertainment.
So the whole idea that Patterson, would have been okay with this and cool with this made me, just off the top of my head, stand-up comedy that I listen to that I like, Tracy Morgan. One of his famous lines or controversial lines is, if you could suck a dick, you could take a joke. This got me thinking, like, yeah, well, not that I'm saying that. It's Tracy Morgan, but he's taking a joke. It's not that it's just Pat Patterson taking a joke. Over 50% of the world's population sucks dick. So it's just the way it is.
That's the way the world turns. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to do that, that's cool.
Right. Yeah, we're not against that.
No, not at all.
I wish I had 100% of the people. Actually, no, that doesn't make sense either.
That's going to come out not like you hoped it would.
Nope. That came out wrong.
Yeah, mulligan.
I wish 100% of my wife would suck dick. All right, moving on. Okay, she don't listen to the podcast. All right.
Yeah, that is mine. But I'm with you. The percentage could be higher.
All right, so you got Briscoe now. He's going to step in. He doesn't like being called a stooge. He's going to do... But he goes on to say, I'll do whatever Vince McMahon asks me to do. That's pretty much the definition of a stooge.
A stooge, yeah.
A stooge is somebody that does whatever the other person wants without question. That's a stooge.
And it's a small thing like this that's also great. So Briscoe coming out saying he doesn't like being called it is only going to make people...
Call him a stooge.
Kind of refer to them more as stooges.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So they're putting the name over. Like, we don't like the Stooge. All right, then we're calling them Stooges.
Yeah, it's just
that's cool.
great writing.
Yep. So Vince McMahon says, we're not going to tell you who you're going to fight, but you're going to fight 2 out of the 3 of us. You're not going to get all 3 of us. You'll get 2 out of the 3. We're not going to tell you which 2. And they said, we don't want to put knots in your head. So Austin responds with, you don't want to put knots in my head. Well, I'm going to put knots on all your asses. There we go again. Then McMahon comes up with a shitty-ass response. You're looking at the 3 Musketeers here. All for one and one for all.
Yeah, so corny.
Reminds me of, I know it's from the 3 Musketeers, but it reminds me of Kevin, who the fuck sings the song? It's Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Anything I do it for you. Who the fuck's in it? Bryan Adams.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like they said that. All for one and one for all. In that.
I never liked the 3 Musketeers. I always thought that was stupid. The people, even when they had like the mice as the 3 Musketeers, it was like a cartoon or something.
Yep.
I just thought the whole concept of the 3 Musketeers.
Yeah, the Musketeers.
Yeah, 3 Musketeers sucked. Every movie they did sucked. Anytime they're on anything, it sucks. I just, hope they all die or lose.
Fuck the Musketeers.
Fuck the 3 Musketeers. Get out of here with that weak ass shit.
All right, so Austin concludes it with, I think everybody would agree that, you can all go screw yourselves. And that goes along with what JV just said. Fuck the Musketeers. Screw the Musketeers. Screw the Stooges. Screw Vince McMahon.
Fuck the 3 Musketeers and fuck Jeff Goldblum.
I'd fuck Jeff Goldblum. Oh, what's that from? That's
Pineapple
Express. Time to suck today's dick.
Such a good movie.
That's the kid that says that, right? He says, fuck. No. Actually, Seth Rogen says, fuck Jeff Goldblum, because that same kid, the student in the high school, was like, he told a funny Jeff Goldblum joke or whatever.
Yeah.
It was like, fuck Jeff Goldblum. Actually, no, I got that wrong. Fuck, that's, not that anyone cares, but James Franco says, fuck Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. No, because you sold me there from a second. I thought it was James Franco.
No, because Seth Rogen is telling James Franco the story of what happened. Franco's like, fuck Jeff Goldblum.
So random, so funny.
Yeah, whatever. All right, let's get to the next part here. We got a match between Dude Love and Dustin Runnels. This is the number 1 contenders match for the Over the Edge pay-per-view. So Dustin Runnels. Yeah, Dustin Runnels. So lame. Fucking identity crisis with this guy back at this point. So Dustin's in the ring already. He doesn't have an entrance because he's not Goldust anymore. So he's just in the ring. And he's wearing a Forever Unchained t-shirt. He's got the FU on the back or FU on the front, either way. The Stooges are at ringside. Austin is watching back in the backstage. He's watching on a little TV sideways like they like to do. Like, you can't just be in front of it. You got to show the TV, and you have to have the guy off to the side. And Dustin gets some good offense in. He does his classic little drop down fist in the center of the ring. I like that. He has a good bulldog that he does, and not much happens other than that. And then you get Jerry Brisco. He's going to distract, and that leads to a mandible claw onto Dustin. Dustin's going to tap. He goes unconscious or whatever. It's not even very clear of how Dude won. Just kind of shit show there. So Dude Love ultimately wins. Dustin gets punished for 30 days. One thing that I did notice, though, in the match is that Dude Love has VKM on the Dude Love's arm, on his heart. It says VKM. Yep. And Brisco and Patterson are going to congratulate Dude Love. And then right after that match, while Austin is watching in the back, he gets arrested. And that leads to a little confrontation with McMahon and Austin. We're going to play a very quick clip there of that, so take a listen.
Just take it easy, will you? I told you, I wanted to bar you for your own protection. But no, you gotta be stone cold Steve Austin. That's what you gotta be. You gotta beat people up. Yeah, that's what you do. Yeah. And you know what? I'm glad you're gonna take your ass away, okay?
That's right.
My only
That's right,
regret is
Mr. McMahon.
we don't have the opportunity to kick your butt in a street fight tonight. That's the only regret I have. Take him the hell out of here.
That's right, Mr.
Yeah.
One of these days they're gonna let me out when they do
Yeah,
you, son of a
yeah. See,
I'm gonna get
see,
my
I
ass
said,
on.
Yeah, they're gonna charge you again too.
That's right,
Yeah.
Mr.
It ain't never
McMahon.
rope that out. You have to lock me up and throw away the damn key.
Get him out of here.
Man.
All right, so very quick there. It's just McMahon is busting Austin's balls, and Austin's handcuffed, so McMahon has balls all of a sudden, and he's going to talk shit to him. He says, the only regret I have is that, we won't be able to kick your butt tonight in a street fight. Kick your butt. He's being tough, but he's going to say kick your butt.
Yeah, everyone's using ass on it, and this guy comes out with butt.
Right. So just about 20 minutes later, Austin is back. He's back in the squad car. He's just sitting in the back there. And he's going to get out of the car. They're going to allow him to leave, to be free. And he has to apologize, though. He has to apologize to the security guard. So Austin gives a kind of half-ass apology and gives the kid double birds and goes off, and he's going to get ready for his street fight. So he's going to have a street fight against the Stooges. It's going to be Gerald Brisco and Pat Patterson, and this happens at 1 hour, 25 minutes, and 8 seconds. So starts off right here. Jerry Brisco, Pat Patterson, the Stooges are going to come out wearing their sweatpants and their custom-made sweatshirts. And they got the sleeves cut off, like Bill Belichick likes to do. And you got Jerry Brisco. He's wearing a Brisco Brothers Body Shop, Tampa, 879-4421, promoting that Brisco Brothers Body Shop. Then Pat Patterson has first IC champ, Rio de Janeiro, where he won that. For so long, not until I started to listen to Something to Wrestle With, I didn't realize that he didn't actually win a tournament in Rio de Janeiro. It was just like a kayfabe thing that they just gave him a belt and they said that he won a tournament in Rio de Janeiro.
I didn't know that.
In that, nobody's going to know at the time that it actually happened or not. So that's just how it went into the history books.
That's funny.
There was no tournament. They just gave him the title.
And no one could check it then.
Right.
Just believed him.
Yep.
Yeah, I was in fucking Brazil. Whole nother country, guy. Fucking won a tournament. Look it up in the paper in 3 months when it gets published.
Oh, that's funny. So, a great line. To continue with what they've been doing, and all this shit went over my head back in the day, is JR says, Pat Patterson works there part-time at Brisco Brothers Body Shop. He does rear end work down there in Tampa. I guess it's worth the drive. Wow, JR even joining in on the rib there with Pat Patterson. He must have been quite a sport, though, to just be all cool with that.
Yeah, and I think obviously his friends and coworkers and stuff were obviously fine with him. Which at the time in the 90s wasn't still like as acceptable as it is now. Obviously, like being a homosexual openly has come a long way, as it should. Thank fucking God it's not like 1960 anymore. That would just be ridiculous.
I mean, even 1990 was bad.
That's what I'm saying. It was still bad, but you could tell he was still even though they're taking shots at him. In my opinion, sometimes when your friends are busting your balls, it's also a sign of respect because they're comfortable. You're both comfortable enough to kind of take those kind of shots.
Yeah. All right, so you're gonna have Sergeant Slaughter is gonna be the special guest referee in this match. So now you have another situation where the odds are against Austin. He's against the Stooges. You got Sergeant Slaughter in there as the ref. But you got no Vince McMahon around, which is kind of shady. But what we do have is a fan in the front row wearing an Austin mask that they spotlight, and he's standing along Al Snow. So, a fan. Okay, we know what's going to happen there. With an Austin mask on. Yeah. So, what I did notice, though, beyond the Stone Cold Halloween mask, is you have a lot of people acting like they're Stone Cold back then. They got their Austin shirts on, shaved heads, and goatees.
I noticed the same thing, dude.
It's like, wow.
The guy in the front row with the chain, the SCU shirt on.
Yep.
Dude, it was like a cosplayer.
You're right. That was like the look back then.
Yeah.
No, that became the look. And I bet any, like, those dudes probably, like, say, you know, mid-20s back then. They're probably about 50 years old now. Guaranteed. Still got the same haircut. Shaved head. Probably because they're bald now at this point, but shaved head and goatee. That's what they got going on.
Yep.
And they're like, yeah, I'm like Austin. Or I'm like Goldberg.
Yeah, really.
So, yeah, that was a look back then. Last week we talked about how we got the highlights and the shitty the shitty spiked hair shit and the perms.
Yep.
Other people were doing Stone Cold. And I always said, once I go bald, that's what I'm going to do. But now I'm like, I don't think I want to do that either.
No, I'm kind of going bald. I just go with the low fade.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
It works for now. And then eventually I'll probably have to bick it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Worry about it when it comes.
Yeah. But I feel like I would need facial hair if I have no hair on top.
Yeah, that's why I got a fucking beard now.
There you go.
So I don't look like I'm fucking like 22 years old or something.
All right, so let's get back to the match here. You got Austin's going to peg off Slaughter right at the start of the match. He's going to give Slaughter the belt. He's the champion. He's going to hand it over. And he's going to give him double birds. The moment Austin turns around, Sarge gives him a freaking nasty clothesline. I liked it because it was like real heel Sarge, not like pussy Sarge. It was Sarge being pissed off. So he gives Austin a clothesline, and Brisco and Patterson jump back in the ring. They start attacking Austin. Patterson's going to go down his pants, and he's going to pull out some brass knuckle-ish type thing. It's not really brass knuckles. It's like blue. I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's simulating brass knuckles, I guess. And he punches Austin. Austin gets down, and Brisco goes to cover him, and it's a 2 count. And I'm thinking, Austin should not be taking a 2 count to these guys. You know, even he's 2-on-1, whatever, it's handicap. But a 60-year-old should not be getting a 2 count on Austin at this point. Well,
I agree.
That's what they went with. And it's probably just habit. It's usually always 2 counts, but it would have been smart to have Austin kick out on 1 counts, these guys. But Austin tosses Brisco out of the ring. Patterson starts to climb the top rope for who the hell knows why. Why the hell would he go on the top rope? But Patterson's climbing up the top rope. Austin hits him. Patterson's going to fall down, smash his balls on the top turnbuckle. And then Patterson ends up on the opposite corner just moments later, and he's hanging upside down while Austin stomps into him. And Brisco tries to grab Austin's foot, and he looks like a little kid trying to, like, get attention.
Yeah, he does.
So then Austin stuns Brisco. Brisco does like a flip forward. He does like a rolling flip forward after the stunner. I just thought it was funny looking. Like, these old guys just can't take that stunner. They haven't taken these bumps in a while. And then Patterson takes one. He takes pretty decent. He just drops to the knees like he's used to doing. And Sarge tries to put the Cobra Clutch on Austin. And Austin reverses that, hits him with a stunner. And then you get the corporate Dude Love run in, and he's going to get clotheslined right out of the ring. So Austin's kind of on fire at this point. He starts beating the shit out of Dude on the outside of the ring. The crowd's going nuts. The crowd's wicked crazy during this episode. And definitely during this match. The crowd's just like hyped. And then you have that fan with the Austin mask jump the guardrail. And he's going to go up to Dude Love, and he's going to throw Dude Love down. And then he's going to walk around strutting, shaking his head like Austin does. And then he grabs a steel chair. A steel chair that's conveniently just placed in a random spot against the steel steps where there's never a steel chair. So this Austin fan grabs it, and he's going to whack Steve Austin on the back. And Austin is totally not beat up on it. He's kind of stunned for a second and looks at the fan like, what? So he goes after the fan, and right while he's going after the fan takes the mask off, and it's Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon's in the mask. You know, it makes sense that he was sitting or standing next to Al Snow, probably for protection. people probably be like, who the fuck was this guy that wasn't here the whole night? We're not going to say shit to him because Al Snow's right there. So the whole point of having Al Snow in the crowd the whole night was probably just for this segment, so that McMahon would be able to stand next to him. So, good thinking there.
No, it was.
So McMahon takes it off, and he gets thrown down, and he's wearing it's very fitting that McMahon is wearing the shittiest Austin shirt. He's wearing the Stone Cold University shirt.
SCU.
And while Austin and McMahon are in a little altercation here, Dude Love comes up from behind, attacks Austin, and the show comes to an end. But on the network, you get Extra Attitude, where they give you a few more minutes of the episode. So what happens after the show goes off the air is that Vince and Dude get back in the ring, and the Stooges come into the ring. Then Austin finally gets up, and he's going to chase McMahon around the ring, like in circles, like a cartoon. Then McMahon slides out of the ring, runs up the ramp. Austin chases him up the ramp. And actually, even before he doesn't run out of the ring, actually. He gets dumped out of the ring like it's the Royal Rumble. And then McMahon runs away, and Austin chases him up the ramp, and that's the conclusion there. So that now brings us to our final segment of the side notes. JV, do you have a side note that stands out to you that you want to bring up?
Yeah. Val Venus debuts.
Yes.
And
he finally comes.
Which is awesome. Yeah, finally comes. He wrestles, I believe it's Too Cold Scorpio. I didn't write that down, but if I'm not mistaken, it was Too Cold Scorpio, who's kind of in like his hardcore phase since he'd been teaming with Terry Funk recently. He has your typical like porn star-ish, almost like Rick Rude type music, right?
Yeah.
That he comes out to, his theme music. And he nails his finisher off the top rope, which is basically a splash, but the name of his finisher is great. It's called the Money Shot, which is absolutely
awesome.
Just a great name for a finisher, and then also obviously ties into his gimmick.
Yeah.
So Val Venus's debut. Another side note I have is so Kane is during this episode of Raw, they're actually doing like a DNA test to make sure that Kane's actually the legitimate son of Paul Bearer. So they're in like an office and they're drawing blood, and Kane's in there with a full fucking windbreaker suit on, pants and jacket, like bright colors, pink, like typical like 90s style that like carried over still. Yeah, mid-90s that was but it was like 80s leftover style.
Yeah.
And he's got a fucking ski mask on that like they cut holes in it. It's just fucking terrible looking. And I just thought that was funny because he's wearing a fucking windbreaker outfit, and you don't see those anymore.
Oh, that is funny.
They sucked then and they suck now.
All right, so I have a couple side notes. Jerry Lawler, he's going to have this mystery man throughout the night, and it's actually going to be Al Snow underneath. And Al Snow's been trying to get into the building, so Jerry Lawler's going to sneak him in, and he gets into the arena, and he wants a meeting with McMahon. Lawler's promising him a meeting with McMahon, but not right now. And Lawler's going to walk Al Snow away from the commentary table where he's trying to sit because he wants to talk about whatever, and they're not allowing him to. And I just thought Al Snow was over big time. I mentioned it just a little earlier about how he was over with the ECW crowd, and this was the time. Even before this, I was watching ECW, and definitely at this time, I was watching it. So I was totally an Al Snow guy at the point, and even so, that it reminded me of, not reminded me because I still do this, but a lot of my passwords that I have the word head involved in it. Not so much anymore, but for a while, ever since 1998, I've been using head in my passwords. They'll try to hack my shit, but I had head in there. And over those years, I was in high school, so through college, through my working career at this point, I've had fiancés, had ex-fiancés, had a fiancé, is now a wife. And sometimes the passwords come up. If you have an account that you create like the cable account or the electric account. And you're like, they want to sign in, pay the bills or whatever. It's like, oh, what's your password? Oh, it's head, blah, 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 blah. And they have no context to what the fuck head means other than head means getting a blowjob.
Yeah, that's what everyone associates that with.
So it just seems awkward that it's like, head. Oh, this kid's obsessed with getting head. I mean, who doesn't like it? But what does everybody want? What does everybody need? Well, yes. But I thought it was like a innocuous word, a word that it would be good for a password because it's so random. It's like, head, who the fuck's going to associate that word with any password? So I used it. So yeah.
Everybody
and it all has to do with Al Snow. Not getting blowjobs, but with Al Snow. And that's something that ex-fiancés or wives would not understand. Oh, this is a wrestler named Al Snow, and he used to walk down with a mannequin head. That's why my password has to do with head.
Yeah,
like, bullshit.
Good luck explaining that. Yeah. Good luck. Let me know if you win that one.
Yeah. All right, then I guess one last one. There's another DX one, though. Yeah.
Do it.
DX one's pretty long.
We got the time.
All right, so you got DX. X-Pac's going to come out. He says, I got game, she got game, they got game, talking about all the DX members. And I was thinking, like, wow, maybe this is the origin of the game. Triple H took this from X-Pac on the game. Yeah, we got another Triple H one-liner. I'm a hell of a drummer. I can really bang the skin. But it's got me to think, Triple H, he's not really the man. We talked about it before. Shawn Michaels is the man. They need Shawn Michaels in DX. This is like a transition stage with Triple H, with New Age Outlaws. And if it wasn't for the New Age Outlaws and X-Pac, then Triple H wouldn't have gotten over. They needed him. I mean, he needed them, rather.
Yep.
And the New Age Outlaws were the team that was actually hot.
Yes, they were.
And that's what made DX continue on. If it wasn't for them, then DX would have just faded away. So they needed to bring the New Age Outlaws in. So New Age Outlaws fucking saved Triple H's career at that point. Because Triple H without Shawn Michaels would have faltered. Bringing in New Age Outlaws gave him somebody to help him up. So it makes sense that they're getting inducted. They should be inducted to the Hall of Fame. Not Triple H first. Triple H needs to be going in as DX, not by himself at this point. One day he'll get in by himself, but at first it should be him with DX.
Yep. And also X-Pac, helps them a lot too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That was a great guy to bring over.
Yep. So what you have here basically is you got DX and the Nation feud continuing here. The Rock's going to come out with this new entrance music where it says, "You smell what the Rock is cooking," and then you get the new Nation remix type music that I was talking about earlier. And this feud is going to continue on, like we said. It's going to be some good shit in the weeks to come, but it's all really starting out here over the last couple of weeks. And The Rock is like in full mode here. He gives the people's elbow, like the legit people's elbow, the Road Dogg. That shit's pretty cool. Farouk's going to come down. He's going to interfere. That leads to The Rock taking a pile driver. And Road Dogg gets the pin, and the New Age Outlaws defend their titles against The Rock and Owen Hart. I do have one shitty thing to bring up in the side notes, and that's Sable asking for a split from Mark Merrow. And Merrow's going to pull out one of those shitty contracts that I hate. Just like a piece of paper with huge, like 52 font on it. Like a contract would never be written like that piece of shit.
In Comic Sans MS.
Yeah. And he pulls it out and he claims, "Sable, you can't leave me. This document says I own you."
Yeah, fuck the Bill of Rights.
And you have to do whatever I want. And then Sable's like, "Well, I guess that means I can't do anything, right?" And the acting is just so horrible. The writing sucks. Concept blows. We're basically at the point where we're going to do the hell no moment anyway. So this is my oh hell no moment. We'll get to yours in a minute, but this is my fucking oh hell no moment. This sucked. Sucked so bad that it had to be brought up.
Yep.
And that's about it. All right, the Paul Bearer and the Kane saga continues. You talked about that with the DNA shit and the ski mask. but one thing that Paul Bearer did say that you didn't mention is that he says Undertaker's mother was nothing more than a 2-bit whore. So that was pretty extreme at the time.
Deep.
All right, so let's wrap things up here with the bottom line wrap up. First off, house shows. Last week we didn't have any house shows, but this week there's a good amount of them. Starting on May 8th, 1998 in Cincinnati, Ohio, you have Steve Austin defeating Triple H. And basically throughout this whole run of house shows during this point, Austin is defeating Triple H in St. Louis on May 9th, South Bend, Indiana on May 10th, in San Jose, California on May 15th. But then on May 16th, we have a different match in Anaheim, California. You have Austin pinning The Rock. Dude Love is a special guest referee during this match. And then on May 17th, you go back to Austin defeating Triple H in Birmingham, Alabama. Now let's go to our oh hell yeah moment of the week. And we talked about it before the show. I think we have the same one unless you change your mind throughout this episode. But my oh hell yeah moment of the week is Vince McMahon attacking Steve Austin with an Austin Halloween mask on. What do you say, JV? What do you got?
Oh, same thing all day. It's hilarious.
The only
fucking mask is creepy and funny at the same time.
Yeah, that looks like that mask should have been in Halloween, like a new Halloween movie. New Michael Myers mask. You know, they use William Shatner.
Looks like the crying baby. Yeah,
the crying baby.
Yeah, have you seen the crying baby mask that's out?
What's that from? Is it from a movie?
It might be in a movie. It's like a mask, but it's like the baby's. It's like a baby, and its face is all scrunched. It's kind of what the Austin mask looks like.
I saw a movie called
Grew Up.
Happy Death Day, and the killer wears a baby mask.
It's probably that one. It's probably the same one. Yeah. It's like if the mask could grow up, it would look like Stone Cold.
But yeah, that's a creepy ass mask. I wonder if that was an actual mask that they were selling at the time, or they just made it up for that.
I don't know. I think I've seen that Stone Cold mask before. So,
oh, another piece of merchandise out there. You know, considering that it's only May, you know, and there's an Austin Halloween mask. In October of '97, I don't think there would have been one. So who knows? Maybe they just made it up for that. I'll have to dig into that and take a look.
No, there was a... I just Googled it real quick because I don't know why it was rubbing me the wrong way. But it was actually in 1997.
Oh.
WWF Stone Cold Steve Austin adult Halloween wrestling mask.
Wow. So
you can get it for $30.
You can still get it?
Yeah, it's well on eBay.
Ah, fuck! I gotta get it. Put that.
It's $26.99 plus $4 shipping.
I'm gonna put that creepy mask in here. I might get a.
They have one that's like more newer. It's like newer,
yeah.
But it looks like shit. It looks like his fucking goatee's like gray.
Nah, I want that creepy old one.
Yeah, this is like the original one, and they have a nicer one, which is from recent. It's like latex. It looks just like. I'll send you the screenshots after the show.
All right. I did have oh hell yeah moment that almost had it. Almost took the cake this week. It was Vince McMahon dancing with the girls in the first episode of Raw that we covered.
Yeah.
Comes out with Dude Loves Clothes. Just love dancing Vince. All right, I gave my oh hell no moment just seconds ago with Sable and Mark Merrow from Raw 260 with the shitty ass acting and all that fake contract bullshit. But what do you got for an oh hell no moment?
My oh hell no moment is Kane's windbreaker.
Yeah, that's right. That's pretty horrible.
Fuck that windbreaker. And his
ski mask. So he got windbreaker and ski mask like he's about to break into a house.
Yeah. He just fucking walks into a hospital with a mask on.
Like he's part of the Sopranos. He's got the jumpsuit, windbreaker jumpsuit, ski mask.
You fucking Russian?
Yeah. All right, so good old hell no's, good old hell yeah is there. And we'll get into now what's coming up next week. Rather, not even next week. We got something something coming up before that, and that's a special day for Steve Austin fans. That's Austin 316 Day. That's coming up this Saturday. So you guys got to get ready to pop some tops and eat some hot dogs this Saturday and watch along with us as we cover the Over the Edge match from 1998, Austin versus Dude Love. So what we're building to right now actually won the poll, and that's what we'll be covering this Saturday as a watch along. So like I said, pop those tops, go to WWE Network, put on Over the Edge. We just recorded this past weekend. It was a hell of a time watching it, and you guys will enjoy it. It's fun shit. So definitely check that out this Saturday. It'll be up this Saturday morning, and I'm going to post it at 3:16 in the morning on 3:16. So if you're on the West Coast at 12:16, if you're up late on a Friday night, stay up later and take a look at Austin versus Dude Love. Now, next Wednesday, we'll be covering the build to that match, and we'll talk about that match again, and we'll do the night after Over the Edge. That's next week. Now, we did have a poll that we did talk about at the top, and that's coming up soon. We don't have a date for that, but be looking forward to that. It's going to be Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin from Survivor Series 96, the first of the pay-per-view trilogy of Austin versus Bret Hart. So we'll have that coming up soon. And now I want to give us a couple shout-outs to our podcast buddies, Talking Taker. But before we do that, take a listen to one of the hosts of Talking Taker, Alex Dario, talk about what this show's all about. So take a listen.
Dead man walking.
Oh, hell yeah. What's up, Stone Cold fans? This is Alex Dorio, one of the hosts of Talking Taker. And along with my co-host and fellow creature of the night, Travis White, we are digging up the career of the dead man, one pay-per-view match at a time, on a podcast journey that's a lot like what you're listening to right now on the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast. So if you're enjoying what Mike and JV are doing here, going through the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin, come check us out as we explore The Undertaker's 3 decades of destruction. We're right in the midst of the Biker Taker era right now, so you can jump right in or start over from the beginning and hear us discuss the Undertaker's side of the story from his many battles with the Rattlesnake, The Rock, Mankind, and more. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, YouTube, Spotify, and more. And you can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Talking Taker. Thanks to Mike and JV for letting us plug the show, and take her easy. What? I said take her easy.
All right, so take a listen to Talking Taker. They drop episodes every Thursday night, and this week they'll be covering The Undertaker versus The Rock from No Way Out of February 2002. So definitely take a listen to them as they cover the career of The Undertaker. I also want to give a special shout out to Mike Mills, Doc Turner, Hardbody Hopper, and their podcast, Booking the Territory, the Unprofessional Wrestling Podcast, where they break down episodes of NWA, WCW, from the 80s, from the old 6:05 time slot on TBS. And they also cover Smoky Mountain Wrestling from the early to mid-90s, Jim Cornette's promotion. And right now they are currently about to cover Starrcade 87. They're going to do half of Starrcade 87 on the NWA episode, which drops on a Thursday. And then on Smoky Mountain Wrestling, they're covering August 20th of 1994, episode 134. They dropped that episode on Sunday. So take a listen to Talking Taker and Booking the Territory podcast. Both of those shows are very gracious, and they help promote us on their shows. So keep it going back and forth. Pay it forward. So take a listen to them. Good shows there.
Hey, before you leave, hey!
You can also support us by following us on Twitter.
What?
You can follow me, Mike Prue, at MPRU83. You can follow JV at John Van Damage. Then follow our show on Twitter and reach out to us at Bottom Line Cast.
What?
Okay, we're also available on many other platforms than what you're listening to us on. So we're on iTunes, we're on Stitcher, Podbean,
What?
Spotify, TuneIn,
What?
Google Play,
What?
and Radio Public.
What?
And we also hope that you guys would, if you enjoy it, give us a 5-star review on iTunes. I did just notice a new review. I want to give a special thanks to David M.D. Chandler for his kind words about our podcast. that he's listened to some Stone Cold podcasts in the past and that we're the best in the world. So, hey, David, thank you for that. And we'd love to hear from you guys. So if you're listening to us and you enjoy the show, that makes JV and I feel really great about what we do every week. So put it out there. And it also helps out the show because the more reviews and ratings, the higher it goes up in the rankings of iTunes, more eyeballs that'll see it. So help us out if you like the show. JV, any final words?
No final words.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We'll be back this Saturday with the watch along. And then next week, we'll be covering the build up to Over the Edge. The last week, the go home show. We'll cover the pay-per-view. And then the night after. All right. So see you Saturday. See you next Wednesday. So long.
Hello. 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 Hello.